Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're going to tackle a really counterintuitive idea. What if the habits you think are making you productive are actually secretly hurting your brain? Let's jump in.
So let me just start by asking you this, and I want you to really think about it. What if all that hard work, all that hustle you pride yourself on, is actually backfiring? It's a tough thought for sure, but getting our heads around it is the absolute key to working smarter, not just harder.
Okay, first up, we need to talk about something called the productive deception. This is that all too common trap of being, fake busy, where you're caught up in this whirlwind of activity, but you're not actually making any real progress.
We've all had those days, right? Your calendar is packed, you're firing off emails, you're checking stuff off a to-do list, but when you get to the end of the day, have you actually moved the needle on your biggest goals? Probably not. This is a powerful illusion, and it can totally sabotage your success. And it usually starts with a huge misunderstanding of how we actually learn things.
And that brings us to a huge problem that so many people mistake for a productive habit. We confuse genuine learning with simple recognition. They are not the same thing. So take a look at this. It lays out the whole deception perfectly. Over on the left, you've got all the passive stuff, highlighting, rereading your notes. It feels productive, right? Because your brain goes, oh yeah, I've seen this before. But that's just recognition. That isn't learning. Real learning, the stuff that sticks, that happens on the right. It's active recall, forcing your brain to pull that information out of thin air. That's how you actually build strong connections in your brain. Scientists actually have a name for this feeling of easy recognition. It's called the illusion of competence. It's a sneaky cognitive trap that tricks you into thinking you've mastered something, when really you just have a very shallow familiarity with it. It is one of the biggest roadblocks to becoming a true expert in anything.
Okay, let's move on to the next habit. This is one our modern culture loves to praise as some kind of superpower, multitasking. But as you're about to see, the actual science tells a very, very different story.
So here's the absolute truth of it. Your brain can't actually do multiple complex things at once. It just can't. What it's really doing is switching its focus back and forth really, really fast. And that isn't multitasking. It's called context switching, and it comes with a massive hidden cost. And this right here shows you that cost perfectly. Research shows that when you're constantly context switching, you can temporarily drop your effective IQ by as much as 10 points. That's a huge hit to your cognitive horsepower. Now, to really put that 10-point drop in perspective, it's basically the same cognitive impairment you'd have after missing an entire night of sleep. Just think about that for a second. Every time you're jumping between your email, your work, and your phone, you're essentially making your brain operate as if it's completely exhausted. So this brings up a pretty big question, right? If these habits are so bad for us, why in the world are they so popular? Well, the answer isn't about being lazy or undisciplined. It's actually rooted in a really deep psychological principle. The reason we love to stay fake busy so often comes down to something called escape behavior. It's basically a defense mechanism. We use the comfort of doing all these easy, low-impact tasks as a way to avoid the anxiety that comes with facing the big, scary, important challenges. The best image for this is a hamster on a wheel. I mean, think about it. There's a ton of motion, a lot of energy is being spent, and it really feels like a lot of effort. But at the end of the day, has there been any forward progress? Nope, zero. It is all motion without any actual meaning. So let's just let that sink in. That busyness that you might wear like a badge of honor, it could actually just be a shield. It might not be a productivity strategy at all, but a way you're protecting yourself from the fear of doing the work that really, truly matters. Okay, so now that we've kind of diagnosed the problem, let's talk about the solution, because there is a clear, science-backed way to break out of this cycle and become truly effective. The fix really starts with a huge shift in your mindset. You have to stop measuring your day by the number of hours you put in, and instead start measuring it by the intensity of your focus. Like we see here, the goal isn't just to be busy, the goal is to be effective. It's not about the time you spend, it's about the problems you solve. Now, this process has a name. It's called deep work, and it's a simple but incredibly powerful 4-step cycle. Okay, step 1, isolate. Pick the one task that's going to make the biggest difference. Step 2, eliminate, and I mean ruthlessly. Turn off the phone, close all those browser tabs. Step 3, focus. Dedicate a solid block of time to that one thing with intense, unbroken concentration. And finally, step 4, And this is so crucial. Rest. You have to step away and let your brain actually recharge its batteries. So, we'll end with this question for you to take with you. Every single day, you're faced with a choice: the comfortable illusion of being busy or the tough reality of being effective. So, tomorrow, which one are you going to choose?